Matt McCarthy.
Hello and welcome to the Los Angeles Podcast with me. I'm your host, Mike Elder. Thank you for listening to this show. It means a lot to me. I don't just say that every week. I truly mean it. A little housekeeping real quick. Go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/BoxAngeles, and click subscribe. I got so many videos up there, so much good information, good clips, everything you could ever want there. And I get paid for views on there, so support the show by subscribing to the YouTube channel. Okay, we had a really fun episode this week. I spoke with actor and comedian Matt McCarthy. Matt is so fun. You'd recognize him from shows like Conan, The Pete Holmes Show, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He had a small role in my favorite movie of the year so far, Companion. You should go check that out if you haven't seen it. Matt is a delight. We talked about how he has so many things going on. He's a writer, he's a comedian, he's a TikToker, he's a podcaster, he's an actor. We talked about how he prioritizes things, his approach to auditions as a comedian, trusting his own instincts. We talked about his huge VHS collection he has. That's what he TikToks and Instagrams about. He has a huge collection of VHS tapes called The Video Garage, and he shares all the things he finds with his fans. We talked about his love for that, and it was really fun to see him glow talking about his collection. That was really sweet to see. This was a really nice conversation, and I'm not going to lie. We talked about him doing a self-tape after the interview, and we just did it. We knocked out his self-tape for him as well in the studio, so that was fun. Fun to watch the magic happen after he said earlier in the interview he likes to do them himself, so that was cool to see. Anyways, Matt's a delight. He's a very funny person. And so, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I give you Matt McCarthy. Hi, Matt.
Hi.
It's so good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. First off, the reason I reached out to you, and I think I mentioned this in my email, is I watched Companion.
Oh, yeah. It's so good, right?
It's incredible. It's my favorite movie of the year.
Me too.
Well, you probably for very different reasons.
For very different reasons, yeah.
But you had such a fun role in that. I felt like, and
yeah.
I feel like you had a couple good, I won't give away any spoilers, but I feel like you had a couple funny lines in there about.
I could be wrong. My recollection is that they told me they didn't intend necessarily for those lines to be funny, but I did them funny in the audition, and then they were like, "Oh, that's great." Yeah.
That's amazing feedback.
I wish I had gone to more. I only went to the premiere. I wanted to go to screenings just because I kept getting told that one of my lines was like, got a big laugh. And I was like, the premiere, it's a kind of performative. Like people are just, at everything. I wanted to see it with some, civilians, but I never got the chance.
So you didn't go to the premiere?
No. That's the only time I saw it.
Where was that at?
The Legion Post over on Highland.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you get an audition like that, do you, because, it felt like an indie film. It kind of was an indie film, or was it a studio film?
It was New Line. Yeah, okay. I think New Line was already involved by the time I had gotten on the audition, I think.
Are you, did you get
because Zach Greger was involved, so it was like, it got snatched up right away, because it was after Barbarian. So
I thought after, when the festival got snatched up.
I think it had distribution before.
Got it. Okay, so when you get...
Could be wrong.
When you get that audition, how much of the script did you get? Did you get the full script?
I don't... No, I couldn't say, because even when I do get the full script, I don't read it. I just read my parts. My wife is always like, "Baby, you have to read the whole script." And I'm like, well, my character wouldn't know what was going on the rest of the time. That's my justification for being lazy.
I love comedians.
I know. I'm just like, I don't know. Dude, when I did the... When we did, I think it was the pilot for Corporate. I don't know if it was the pilot or because I did a couple episodes of Corporate, which was on Comedy Central.
Yep.
Back when they made TV shows, folks.
R.I.P.
But we walked by some huge prop, and I was like, "Holy shit! What is that thing?" And they're like, "Oh, that's the blah blah blah. The whatever. Like there's some bit where it's like a huge like iPad or phone or something, but they said it in a way like, oh, that's the obelisk or whatever it was, and I was like, oh yeah. Totally, because I didn't have any scenes with the obelisk, so I didn't fucking know.
This huge plot point you just
right. I'm just like,
but wait,
I'm just here to eat cake.
That's great. But back to Companion though, I wonder though.
Yeah.
And maybe not, but I wonder if you made it funny not knowing it was sort of a serious scene, or if you have the same problem I have where I'm trying to be serious and people just think it's funny. It's like the Galifianakis thing. I feel like Galifianakis could say something very serious and just get a laugh. I feel like you are probably in that same group.
Maybe. I think I was trying to... I don't know. I think for me, it wasn't necessarily that I was trying to be funny. I was, but like, I think ultimately I just was trying to be interesting. I was like, what would be interesting about this? You know, like I did a movie called The Normals, where I had a line that was, I was like, oh, I thought that Landon, whatever the character's name, we'll say Langdon. I was like, the line is, I thought that actor guy Langdon was your roommate. And it was just like that. But I decided to do it like suspiciously, like I had busted the guy in something. And I was like, I thought that actor guy Langdon was your roommate. And the director loved it. And I was just like, yeah, it's I don't know. I'm just looking for any way to not be boring, you know, I guess. But no, I showed up to, what was the name of the movie? The Music Never Stopped.
Okay.
It had a different name when I shot it, but J.K. Simmons is in it. I had a tiny role. Like I'm just a cafeteria guy. And I did the audition like kind of funny. You know, I'm like, a guy walks up with a tambourine and I'm like, you know, hey, Danny Parsons, you going to sing me a song? And he's like, oh, I'm looking for Celia. I'm like, no, all I got for you is mashed potatoes. And I booked it. I didn't know it was a drama until we were shooting. And like I did it funny. And I was like, I was so proud of myself because I scooped up all these, like we did it once. I don't even think we were necessarily shooting. I think we might have been rehearsing, but we might have been shooting. And I was like, no, sorry. All I got for you, you want some mashed potatoes? And I scoop them up, and I've got this huge pile of mashed potatoes on a spoon. And then the actor I'm with just kind of starts like backing away. And as he's backing away, I was so proud of myself. I tilted it so slightly. You wouldn't have been able to perceive it, but I timed it so well that like after like a beat, like a slop of mashed potatoes just fell back into the tray. And it got a huge pop from the crew. And then the director literally said to me, Matthew, can we do that again? And don't be funny. And it really wasn't until like later that day I was like, oh, what's this? Like I'm asking a PA. I was like, she's telling me, she's like, no, this movie's about a guy with a traumatic brain injury. And I'm like, wait, really? I didn't know.
So even after you book things, you don't read the script.
Why would that guy in the cafeteria know? I mean, I guess he would know that everybody had a traumatic brain injury at the hospital he worked at. But why would that change any of his, like, Carl's approach? Every character I book is named Carl.
That's funny.
Every approach would just be like, hey, I mean, because it opens with me being like, hey, nice tambourine, Danny Partridge. So I'm like, got it. I know.
Well, in your defense, and I love all this. I think I agree with you, honestly. Like, dramas need comedy, and you are who you are. But, like, they saw your work, presumably. They knew you were going to be funny. Were you able to make it serious, I guess? Or did you think you still had a little funny in there?
No, I did it serious. I was just like I just did it smaller.
Okay.
You know? Also, I don't know if they were mad at me. Like, you can barely see that it's me. Like, I'm like, like goofed myself into being like an extra in this movie basically now.
That's the thing though too. I was talking to George Basil. I don't know if you know George, but
I love George.
He was said on Barbie. He was like improving, and they're like, George, please just do the lines. And he was talking about how it's like once you book it, it's impossible to get fired, even because they don't want to go through like
they don't want to go through it again.
Somebody else. So even if you did frustrate them,
I remember one night at the Virgil. It was some character show, and George Basil, he just goes up, and he has a tape recorder, and he's playing it, and it's just dogs barking. And he's playing it into the microphone, and then he just goes, I have your doggies. And then he just starts doing this character about how we're at a town hall meeting, and he's like, I knew that you would all be at the town hall meeting, and I rounded up your doggies. I'm going to kill your doggies. And he's just about how he hates everybody's dog. And he's like, you have to stop. Afterwards, me and my wife, Glennis, we were like, George, that was so fucking funny. And he was like, yeah, I didn't know what I was going to do. I had the tape recording of the dogs, and then I just started improvising. And it's like, he's the best. George is the best.
He is the best. He seems like the guy that doesn't read the script, too, probably.
Probably. Fuck.
Have you taken acting classes? Have you tried to figure out that side of it, or do you just follow your comedy instincts? Normally?
I follow my instincts. I mean, outside of like 3 levels of UCB 20 years ago, that's the most acting. You know, I think about it. Once in a while, I'll send an email to like some, I don't know, like I'll Google what's a really good acting school. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I would lose something or if I'm just being stupid and it would only make me better. I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough to know, honestly.
I don't know if I would have to like unlearn what I already do or I don't know. I don't know. I think about it from time to time, but then also I think about like the time commitment. I don't know if that is an option anymore. Just because I got we have a young son, and my day is already pretty well packed, and my wife works too. So it's just like, you know, I'm in a routine, and if I book something great, I don't know. I've found the thing that helps booking work is booking work. You know, like the thing I was most excited about doing Companion was, oh, good. Hopefully somebody will see this, and I'll get to do something else.
This podcast.
Yeah. Yes. When did people start doing this?
I don't know.
This is so hack now to do this. It's over. Was it Toddlers and Tiaras?
Probably, yeah.
That's what my wife said.
Jean-Benet Ramsey or
she
something.
thinks it was Toddlers and Tiaras.
Yeah.
It's over. It's like doing a picture now where you just you do that, you can't do that anymore.
I don't back to the Companion audition. Was that a self-tape? Did you do that in your... Okay. And was it only the one self-tape?
I did that I wasn't just in my living room. I was on tour with Pete. We were in... I want to say we were in... we might have been in Milwaukee.
That's funny.
And I taped it that morning in my hotel room. And I and we were getting ready to drive to like Madison. I could have the cities wrong,
It's
but like
flyover country.
we were going from one city to another, and like that morning before we were leaving, I recorded the audition, and then I watched it back, and I was like, oh man, this audio sucks. Like I was like, I need to do this again, and I need to like just have like the iPhone like earpods with the microphone next to me. And so then we drove to the next town, and then I shot it again, and it was going to be like late because like whatever it was past the deadline that my agent had given me. Literally, as I'm saying this, I just remembered I have an audition due today that I completely forgot about. I haven't looked at. I don't even know what time it's due at. Shit.
We'll get it done. We'll get it done. We can knock it out after. We'll just put it on my wall.
Can we?
Yeah, if you want. Let's do it.
Imagine if I book it.
Then I'd get 10%, right?
That's how it works.
Wait, who read with you on tour for that audition then?
Nobody. I did the thing, and ever since I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and he's like in the swimming pool, like running lines with a tape of himself.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I just want to do that.
Sure.
Because I kind of don't like running. I mean, when we're on set and I'm running lines with the other actor, that's one thing. But like, I don't enjoy, and maybe this is where an acting class would benefit me. Like, I don't enjoy like doing the audition with another person and them like kind of giving me feedback.
Oh.
And then like I'm like, I find more comfort in finding my own way, if that makes sense. Because like I book like a lot of commercials. There aren't very many commercials anymore, but like when I can read a commercial audition, and if I read it once and I'm like, oh, I get it. I get what they're going for, or I at least get how I would do it. I usually book the commercial. So like with, I don't know, movies and TV and stuff, it's like, I think there's more factors, but like, I need to, I can take direction, but it's just like, I find I'm better if I just find my understanding of it on my own.
Yeah, that's fair. It's interesting, though, because I feel like everybody I've talked to on this is like, we miss feedback. That's what we miss about going into the room, is getting that feedback from the casting. Are you open to that, I guess? If you went into an in-person audition and the casting director gave you notes, obviously you'd be into that, or no?
I'm into that, but it's just like, I find, in my experience, too many casting directors, they say too much.
Oh.
And then I get lost. Like, I'm like, oh, stop talking. You know, like
7 notes for one 30-second tape. You're like, wait,
yeah, I'm just like, I feel like I'm the coffee cup that's overflowing. I'm just like, I can't take anymore. Like like my memories of shoots where the director, I worked best with the director is when they just said one or two things, you know?
Yeah, keep it simple.
Like, yeah, where they're just smaller, or I remember one director, it was like for Guinness. God, this is like 15, 20 years ago, where I played like a pilgrim or something. And it's like an interview, like I'm like being interviewed. And he just told me, he's like, play it like you see where this question is going. And I was like, I think about that all the time. It was like the best direction I've ever gotten, because I started getting myself angry as the other person is talking before I even got my line out. And then the line that I got out was, you know, ad-libbed. It's like, I don't even know what the scripted line was, but I was just like, I'm getting angrier and angrier. And then I'm just like, wow, you've got some brass, son. Like, I'm just like, the audacity.
Yeah.
As opposed to, yeah, just like, you know, maybe you get, but you don't want to, but certainly when you get, so remember, so just, when you come in, you go on the thing, you look at the thing, but then you're looking at her, and I'm just like, I'm lost. I'm completely lost.
Yeah, especially when you're at like a commercial audition and it's a session director giving you.
Like, I remember that when we did the sitcom How We Roll, there was the scene didn't make the air, but it was like, my character was kind of, I think at first they wanted my character, who was named Carl, to be like Pete's enemy. And I think right away I knew, I'm like, this isn't going to fly. This isn't the type of, like, there's too much of a warmth. Like, it was like a very family-focused kind of sitcom. It wasn't like a Seinfeld where it's like he can have this diabolical Newman.
Right.
And so I was like, I just feel like if I play these things where I'm his enemy, the character's going to die on the vine. Whereas I'm like, I just feel like this guy's a dipshit, you know? I'm like, and that's where it's funnier. So I just started playing it more like that. Like, they can be at odds with each other, but like, especially this scene that I'm talking about, it was like, this isn't going to make it to the air, because they're just, it's not that funny, and they're just kind of cruel, and my character's coming off as unlikable. And that's the worst thing for TV. It's like especially the first season of a sitcom and the network is just cutting everything, and I'm like, if something's unlikable, they're so panicked. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
but the way I was playing it was goofier and softer. And I forget who the director was that day. It wasn't our usual director. But the way that she kept trying to explain it to me, it just, my brain short circuited, and I was just like, I don't follow what.
We're good.
Oh, you look panicked.
The TV froze, but it's still recording.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I was like, we're still at 12 minutes? This has been the longest
oh, no.
12 minutes of my life, but we're good. I did panic for a second. This is the problem being an independent producer, by the way.
Sure.
Where you do everything. You know that as well.
Yeah.
Back to the self-tape. So when you send out a self-tape and you're doing it all yourself, you're confident, you're like, this is it. This is what they want? Or are you like, this is what I think they want? Because that's what I worry about when I do it myself. And lately, I have an AI website that reads the lines back to me.
Really?
So when I finish it, it's called Act on Cue. They should sponsor this podcast. I keep bringing it up.
Wow.
But,
Okay.
like when I finish my line, the AI responds. So I've been using that. But when I'm just doing that, I don't. I guess maybe this is just because I can't book anything. But like I don't feel as confident without somebody there saying that was good. Granted, words of affirmation is my love language, so maybe that's perfect too. But
I don't know. I think I just rely on my training as a stand-up comedian, because that is a art form where you're self-trained, where it's just you go
Trial
off
and error.
of trial and error. What feels good? What do I think will work? And then, all right, I'll try it tonight. You know, the difference with stand-up is that, like, you do have that immediate feedback from the audience, which I think is why I enjoy. I am better shooting something than I am auditioning, because it's just like I could try it 1,000 different ways, but like in the moment, I think that's what I like about. Just auditioning against, like, alone, is because I can be in the moment and there's no one else to consider, which is a very stand-up comedian mentality of just like, well, what would I do? So I'm less trying to figure out how do they want it done. I'm more trying to think about how can I do it that, one, no one else is going to do it this way. And then two, what's going to be the easiest thing to replicate if I book this job, say like it's a series regular. Because because I don't want to do like a weird accent or a weird voice.
Oh, I feel that. Yeah.
Because then I'm like, oh, fuck, now I'm stuck.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to be able to keep this up for 8 hours.
Yeah.
You know? So it really is that thing of work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
And also, like, write what you know. It's like, what's going to be the easiest thing for me to replicate all day long?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, then that's probably why you don't want to go to an acting class, because I feel like that's their, like, everyone that books says that, but then when you go to an acting class, they're like, no, you can't bring yourself to this. It's got to be the character, and you're like, oh, well.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know if I don't know. Maybe I could do that, but it's just like, I don't know. It's like, yeah, I'm trying to find the character, but it's just like, but it's still me.
That's why I gravitated towards UCB in general. And I don't know how many improv classes you did, but like UCB was like, this is Matt's character on stage. They use your name, Matt. Whereas like IO and the Groundlings, it's like, no, you got to be somebody different. You got to be wacky. You're Carl and you're a used paper salesman, you know what I mean? Or whatever. Like, so that's why I think I gravitated to UCB for that reason. And I tend to agree with you. But yeah, acting classes, I think for the most part, are like, no, you got to find the character and not be you.
Yeah, I don't know. And maybe that would be beneficial for me to figure out how to do that, you know?
Deconstruct. But then, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm at the point now where I'm like, I just would like to work and you know, keep my health insurance. But it's just like, if I can also just enjoy it more, just for the craft of it, I'm like, I'm down for that as well.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't get it. Because there's just not as many. Like when Conan was still running, I would be in there once or twice a month, you know, whether the sketch would go on the air or not. And it was like, A, it was great money, so hooray. But B, it was like, there was nothing more fun than performing live in front of the audience. The only thing more fun than that was was rehearsing the piece in front of like Conan and Andy. And I was like, if it lived or died, I mean, one, it was like there was really no pressure on me. The pressure was on the writer, you know, because Conan wasn't going to, you know, critique me necessarily. But also they trusted me there and I got brought in a lot. So it was like, I mean, there was really nothing more exciting than just showing them calling, being like, are you around this afternoon? Yes. And then going there, just kind of sitting around the green room, and either the costume person or the stage manager, somebody would eventually come up to me and say, do you know what you're doing today? And I would say, no. And I loved that because it just was, they trusted me to do it. And then like there was sometimes you maybe got to rehearse it once before you got on the stage, and like you're not just rehearsing it for Conan and Andy, you're like, this is the writer's last opportunity to pitch this idea to be on the show. And I loved that they trusted me to elevate the material, you know.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? You come in, you do your thing. You have this superpower, come in, they need somebody funny that's regularly consistent, and you come in, probably low pressure too for you, honestly. Like, you're just doing your thing.
Yeah, once I realized, oh, they keep bringing me in, I'm like, oh, they like me, you know. That once you feel like they like me, now the pressure's gone. I was like, oh, thank God. Yeah.
What do you, since you have so many things going on, and I hate this question, so I'm not asking you this question, I'm just asking your answer to this question, is how I'm going to preface it. But what do you say you do when somebody asks you that? Do you consider, let me just hear
I mean, like, when I fill out like a tax form, for occupation, I just put entertainment.
Okay.
You know, if somebody wants specifics, I just go, I mean, I don't want to say comedian because it's just like, I don't want them to be like, oh, tell me a joke.
Yeah, that's the worst.
You know, because I'm just like, ugh. But like, or also, I also don't want them to start like listing off their favorite comedians and it's all people that I'm like, ugh, they're a jerk. You know? Or like, I'm just like, oh, you have terrible taste in comedy. Like, I don't, so I just go, you know, well, I do a lot of comedy, acting, writing, you know.
Well, I guess my follow-up to that is like, when you started doing this, did you set out to act or did you solely want to do comedy?
I don't know. I mean, when I was a kid and I used to watch reruns of SNL, I was like, I want to be an actor, but I don't want to do, it's so funny that I'm realizing this. I would say, like, I don't want to do acting school and be like a serious actor and do plays and stuff.
And read the full scripts.
Yeah, I was like, I want to just be funny and be a comedic actor. And I was like, how do you do that? And I didn't know anything about like Second City or improv schools or, you know, any of that. So it seemed like, because also I'm watching Comedy Central and it's predominantly stand-up. So I was like, I also loved stand-up. So I was like, I think I'd like to try that. And then, you know, high school girlfriend and, you know, guidance counselors and parents are like, well, that's not a real job. You have to get a major and get an internship. And, you know, then I was like really unhappy. And then but I'm like living in New York in the early 2000s. And I was just like, well, what if I just start going to open mics? And I never wanted, like, I didn't want to be Steve Martin and like become really successful and then stop doing stand-up. And like nowadays, I mean, like, Jesus Christ, it's like it almost feels unheard of. I mean, I suppose there are like the Dennis Leary isn't really like a contemporary, you know, stand-up, but like it's I don't know. I suppose the people who I never wanted to use stand-up as a stepping stone to something else. But I'm like, I'm not I'm definitely not as driven as other people I've met in stand up of like I don't have any desire to like stay up late and like I'm like if I can do shows with Pete, like he invites me on tour with him, I'm like this is great, but like and if we can record stuff and I'm like I can get recordings of stuff, that's even better. But like I'm like right now I'm really enjoying like if I can book other work, great. If I can book an acting job, great. If I can book some stand-up gigs, great. But like I'm paying my rent doing TikTok, watching old VHS tapes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I'm like, I like this. You know, hopefully the government doesn't make this thing illegal.
It is illegal. It's just been delayed, which is crazy.
They just keep delaying.
They just don't care.
Yeah.
But wait, so like my follow-up to that would be, I guess, like it seemed like for a long time, obviously, comedians' goal was to get to LA and get a sitcom.
Yeah.
But now it seems like comedians are like totally content with touring and a podcast. So that's kind of why I asked that question about what do you say you do? Because it doesn't seem like a lot of the contemporary ones want to act.
No, I think they do. It's just, you either get cast or you don't. I don't think like guys with successful podcasts are like, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, guys are like so successful with podcasts now that it's just like, why would I bother doing a movie or a TV show? Because it's just like, I make my own hours. Nobody's telling me what to do. I'm making a ton of money. Who gives a shit, you know? Like when we did How We Roll, it was like, it was my first experience with a sitcom. And me and Pete were both like, these hours are unbelievable, you know? Because it's not like a commercial or a movie.
Right.
Anything single camera where you're getting up at 5 to get there at 6 and then you're there maybe all day. Like certainly with a commercial, you're there for the full fucking 8 hours. But like a sitcom, it's like come in at like 9 or 10, then you're done by like 2. Like we were like, oh my God, we're gonna go pick up our kids at fucking daycare. This is unbelievable. And it was fun to just because I love I love like the live thing of doing the Conan sketches, but also like with the sitcom, it was like, oh, we can do it more than once. Because I love that. Like commercials, you're there all day, so then you get to kind of like play, and you're like, all right, we'll try this, or like, you know, there's always one director always called the clients and the ad agency people our friends in the tent. It's like, well, we're gonna wait to hear from our friends in the tent, and then we'll go again. And but like somebody always has a line, or like you can anytime you can ad lib. It's super fun, but like I don't know. I mean, I think there were always stand-ups who just wanted to be stand-ups. I don't know that there was ever anybody that wanted to do a sitcom for the art of it. I think it was just, you know, part of the retirement plan.
Sure.
Because you know, I mean, I don't know, like, but I don't know. You look at like Jay Leno still does stand-up. Yeah, I never touched the Tonight Show money. It's like, oh, okay.
But that's my point, though. It's like it seems like touring is more lucrative. To your point about podcasting being lucrative, obviously, but like,
way more.
Touring seems way more lucrative than it used to be.
I think that'll continue because as the artificial becomes the dominant form of media, there is going to be that desire of the thing that can't be replicated.
Yeah,
you know, and like one-on-one, like a live flesh and blood person in front of me, in a real experience. It's just, I don't see a way to get that on the computer just yet, you know?
Well, I will say this. You clearly haven't watched Companion. I think prompt theory. Do you know prompt theory? We're not actually in a...
Oh, are we in a...
We're in an AI prompt.
Oh, we're in a simulation.
Well, we're an AI prompt. Somebody said, show me two overweight white males sitting at a podcast right now, and all our memories were programmed in, just like your movie Companion.
Oh, well, that's fine.
So all I'm saying is the real thing on stage is not necessarily the real thing. It's just an AI prompt.
Why did they put like income taxes into the prompt? Why is that a thing?
That's so funny.
Also, I want one of them to find a lump and have to go see it.
You mentioned your routine earlier, and I wanted to ask you about this because you do so much. Like, do you have a prioritization or anything? like clearly, and I don't mean to diss you on this, but like you're not prioritizing auditions. It seems like if you just remembered you had an audition. So like, is there like a priority? Like for me, I drop everything when I get an audition. That's my number one.
Yeah.
Then it's my podcast, and then but like, do you have sort of a prioritization? Because you do so much. You got your VHS garage, you got your TikTok, you got your comedy, you got auditions.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I have like I think I mean, as far as the career stuff goes, like once I get to the career stuff, the priority is making the video for that day.
The TikTok specifically.
Yeah, because that's income, and the consistency of it being up there. Like it'll be like at least a couple of bucks just from the views, and then the end of the month, I'm like in like a special, like another like specialized program where it's just because I only talk about like TV and movies. So then like that is, it's never clear how much money that's going to be, but it's like, hey, it's fucking free money, as far as I'm concerned. But so like that's the top priority. And then the other priority would be, because it ain't like it used to be, like when I started in New York. Like it used to be like audition, like a couple auditions every day, and you had to go to them. That's why these things slip my mind, because I'm like, the once in a while I'll get a email from my manager, and I'm like, oh, right. And then I'm just like, oh, fuck, I got to do that thing.
It's due in 3 days or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, it's due in 3 days, but also it's just like, I'm like, I'm just going to bang it out in front of the blue screen in my bedroom, and then it's just like, I'm either going to book it or I'm not, but it's just like, I don't know that I've ever... Look, I'm sure there's plenty of gigs that I booked just on how good they thought my performance was, but it's always like with Companion, the story I heard, and Zach confirmed this, because I knew Zach from back in New York with Whitest Kids and stuff, and they were looking at the audition tapes, and I came up, and he said, oh, I know that guy. Oh, he could do this. That's how you book shit, Like how we roll, like they said to Pete, who are some people that you like performing with that maybe you could improvise with or riff with? And he's like, well, I do videos with Matt McCarthy. He would be great. Like, that doesn't get you the gig. Like, the amount of people you have to go through to get, on a fucking show on CBS when they were still making sitcoms, I mean, God. But it's like, there are so many people, like, so it's just like, it's you never know what is going to come up. But also I'm just like, I mean, sometimes sometimes it is that X factor of, I don't know. Maybe I thrive on the last minute. Like if I don't have time to analyze it to death, I'm just like, I just got to get it done.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that's good or bad or what. But,
sure.
But
CBS has another Big Bang sitcom coming out, so they're still making Big Bang spin-offs.
Thank God.
But wait, back to, so you said TikTok is your prioritization. You try to post every day on TikTok?
I do post every day on TikTok, yeah.
You don't batch it? You don't like film them all on a Sunday and then roll them out each day you do one every day and then post it immediately?
No. What the routine I've gotten into is because I have a huge VHS collection.
I know, which I wanted to ask you about.
And now that it has turned into a source of income, I feel really lucky. I don't like the word lucky. I feel really grateful that I'm able to get a couple of bucks from something I would be doing anyway. And it's also like my wife kind of doesn't complain that like, God, there's a lot of tapes in here anymore now that it's like, well, it's my day job, So I'm able to like lean into like just buying more tapes. Yeah. And when I say tapes, I'm talking about like, like I want to, like, I love going to estate sales to find stuff that people recorded off of TV. And like touring with Pete is amazing because now I'm not just finding tapes in L.A. Like Houston, Madison, all over. And what I do is I put the tape in at night before bed and digitize. So I just let the whole 6-hour tape play.
Oh, okay.
And digitize that. And then the next day is when I watch it and kind of scrub through it. So that's why I do it instead of doing like a bunch at once, because I'm like, well, and then that 6-hour digitized file I put into like a Google folder, and then people can subscribe to my Patreon and watch, all the tapes and stuff.
Yeah. Are you good with like organization? Because I've seen you like find a tape in a back corner drawer, and you know exactly where it's at. Like, or are you setting those all up?
No. I don't. Again, I don't have the time to fake it.
Like, do you have like a wicked spreadsheet of like cataloging everything?
Since I started the Patreon, I've gotten better about like making a table of contents, at least for the like what's on the tape. And I'm working on like a larger Excel spreadsheet just to search like everything, so that I'm like I can find anything that's like from Seattle, Washington on King 5 or whatever the channel is.
Okay.
So I'm getting better at that. I'm also started to like make a spreadsheet of just like magazines, just for research purposes of like, oh yeah, I want to like read a couple articles about like Ed Wood. So I'm like, oh, okay, I got this magazine, I got this thing. But like the tapes, it's the collection. I mean, every day it's bigger than it's ever been. I have a pretty good idea still of where everything is, just because I just chalk it up to because I care. I care enough to know. I'm like, oh well, this is where this is. Oh, that's over here. I don't know that anybody else could find it. I mean, like I like.
Have you trained your child yet up so that?
I mean, look.
If you get hit by a bus, somebody can find King 5 Seattle, 1980.
I did have the thought of like
an apprenticeship
because like I have like the home movies from my family. I'm the only one who has those because I'm the only one who cares about VHS, and I'm like digitizing that stuff. And I'm like, I was saying to my cousin because I was back home, and I was like, I need to make sure that people have the links to these, like, because like God forbid something happens to me, I want to make sure people have access to these files, So yeah, there is that.
There's some emergency plans.
I have been thinking, I'm like, why do I have like a password login on my laptop? Like, if something happens to me, I need people to be able to open this up and like, here's.
Yeah.
I hopefully other people care enough. I'm not talking about my family, just in general. Care enough of like, oh, that was the only like he's got a recording of this episode of Johnny Carson. Like, well, that's a bad example because
everyone is Johnny Carson.
Well, Carson's nephew has all this stuff in a salt mine. I'm just saying, like, I don't know, just random shit.
Yeah,
random shit from TV.
You're also an archivist. I just realized that's another.
Yeah, I do. I was saying this to somebody. I do feel like kind of bad if I don't get to an estate sale. Or like, better example is sometimes it's kind of a bummer showing up to an estate sale and there's no tapes. The only worst feeling is when there's too many tapes, and I gotta like, kind of like guess like, well, maybe because everything that I don't take is going in the trash.
Yeah,
And
Why wouldn't you take them all?
Well, say like if I'm in Houston,
I see.
I'm like, I know how many are going to fit in this suitcase.
I see.
Damn. Yeah.
Can I ask you a trivia question?
Yeah. What's up?
Do you know the difference between like a King 5 or KTLA versus like a WCCO or do you know the difference between the K and the W on the front of the news channel?
Oh, it's West Coast and East Coast.
Yeah. Well, I think it's Mississippi River is the divider.
Oh, well, that's the divider. Yeah.
Nice. I'm glad you knew that.
Hey, dude.
I just learned that recently.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Wait, how many terabytes are we talking of?
Right now,
Footage you
I'm
got?
about to cross 3 terabytes
Damn.
in the Google Drive, and then I gotta, because I pay for 5, and so I'll probably hit that, in a year or 18 months or something at this rate. So
I love the forecasting app. I love it.
well,
We need more stories.
because of the frequency at which I've been uploading the stuff, I'm like, okay, so because now that I do it every
You
day,
need like a team of actuaries now and everything.
well, I got to talk to a couple of buddies who I'm like, maybe I just have my own, like, hard drive and network here. Yeah.
Wait, was the genesis of this just you had your family's VHS and loved it and then just started collecting more? Or were you just always a VHS guy?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I've always been a VHS guy. And yeah, it started with just, like I have all the tapes from our, like not just like home family footage, like shit. I still have my copy of Scrooge tape off of pay-per-view from like 1988 or 89, from Request. That was the pay-per-view channel on the East Providence cable when I was growing up. And then it blossomed more in college because I was in New York and you could go to a record store and buy like VHS and stuff. But after college in the early 2000s, once DVD really took a stronghold and VHS became trash. And then I was just like, oh, I can get them for super cheap now. But like the stuff taped off of TV, I always had those, but it wasn't until moving out here to LA, I didn't even know what an estate sale was. But like when I saw, like I've always had a fascination with just in my own home, like growing up, of like somebody taped something off of TV, of like just seeing, I remember specifically we taped Police Academy 2 off of like channel 5 or 11 or something, and my favorite part of that tape was after the movie ended, because you remember, like, you just put a tape in, record the movie at 8 o'clock, and then the tape recorded the whole night. Yeah. I'm like, what was on TV?
You like the after, yeah.
Yeah, when I was in bed, like the stuff that I was never going to see otherwise.
Yeah.
And so it's always been this fascination for me of, well, what else is on the tape?
Right.
I love seeing like the little what's on the label, but like sometimes the labels aren't accurate. Something gets taped over. But also like I've found such a joy in getting other people's tapes of just like, who was this person? What were they interested in? What was going on in that city or in the world or the country at that time? Because you get the little news breaks, A buddy of mine gave me a tape. He was just trying to tape Saturday morning cartoons, and the news kept interrupting because the Chinese government was rolling the tanks into Tiananmen Square.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Isn't that crazy?
It's weird to think about how much this stuff is like gone. Like,
well, that's the other thing.
Like how much of it is gone? They went under or whenever, and
well, I went to a autograph show not too long ago here in Hollywood, and I want to say her name is Katie Lee, incredible voiceover actor. She did the voice of Dumbo on a short-lived Disney Channel show called Dumbo Circus, where it was live action, where they were like people in suits. And I found a copy of, somebody had taped the entire morning of Disney Channel on a Betamax, and it had an episode of that, it had an episode of Winnie the Pooh's Corner or something, which I couldn't believe. I was like, oh my God, I haven't thought of, again, like live action, people in suits as Winnie the Pooh and Eeyore and stuff. And I posted about it on TikTok, and somebody in the comments was like, I'm pretty sure these shows are considered lost. and sent me a link to some website where guys like, we found this episode, and I'm looking and I'm like, wow, this exact episode of Dumbo Circus is considered lost. Met her at the autograph show, asked her about it. I was like, I found an episode, and she's like, oh yeah, they're all gone. All those tapes. She's like, the production company, like, because Disney didn't want them.
Yeah.
The production company held on to the tapes as long as they could, and then finally was just like, we got to trash these. She's
wild.
like, they're all gone.
It's wild.
It's crazy.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think we have enough content, but it's also like this historical stuff is just like.
Well, I mean, even in terms of like, yeah, because like I remember, I think Scorsese estimated like half the movies made before 1950 are lost, just gone.
That's wild.
It's crazy.
That's wild to think about.
Yeah.
That's the benefit of digital, I guess.
But then there is
and Google Drive.
Well, yeah. I mean, hopefully, because these hard drives get corrupted, files get lost or deleted. I mean, because that's my concern about like because I like having it in like the little Google Cloud. I feel confident that that's always going to be there.
Yes.
But I'm not like throwing away the tapes after I digitize them, because I'm like, what if Google gets turned off?
That happened recently, didn't it? Like 6 months ago,
Maybe.
Everything went down. Wait, are you kind to your future self? Do you rewind every tape?
I do, but it's also this is PSA, public service announcement. Never put a tape in and just start playing it. You got to put the tape in, fast forward it all the way to the end, and then let it rewind itself, and then play it.
Why is that?
Because it helps, like, because the tapes get they can sag off of the reel. Also, these older tapes, and let's face it, they all are now.
Yeah.
Magnetic tape gets sticky. That's why tapes break. Or people are like, "Oh, the VCR ate my tape." It's like, no, the tape ate the VCR. Like it wasn't able to. But also, it tightens it up. It kind of loosens it up, loosens up the tape. It's going to play better. It's going to look better, and it's much less likely to break.
Why did they never say that back in the day?
They did, but it became one of those things that just got lost to time, Huh. Even just like when I see people with like their collection of VHS tapes, like, because of course that's my algorithm now, and it's all the tapes stacked on top of each other, like the tape laying flat.
Yeah.
I'm always like, that's wrong, because
that's how it sags.
It starts to sag off of the reel. They need to be on their side or standing up.
Huh.
Yeah.
The more you know. That's interesting.
Hell yeah. Because a buddy of mine was an engineer, like a music engineer. And he was saying, like, yeah, we would have to bake the tapes. Like you like at like 100 degrees or something, because it gets sticky and you can't play it through because I've found, I only grab Betamax and VHS tapes. Once in a while I'll find like a reel of like 1/2-inch tape, like a Sony, and I'm like, I'm just too curious, but I have no way to play it. So like I've found a couple of guys online, like I'll send them the reel, but like they bake it first, because of the tape gets sticky, and then they bake it first, and then they run it through, and then send me the digital copy. Yeah.
You know what I love is watching somebody talk passionately about something they love.
I just
like, to be honest with you, I couldn't give a shit about VHS tapes, but you were so passionate, and it's so cool to watch. Do you know Will Hines and Anthony King?
Very well.
They had a podcast called "Don't Get Me Started" where they would have somebody do this, and it feels like a great "Don't Get Me Started" episode. Like, it's like you light up about just the nuance of VHS tapes.
It's fun. It's interesting.
Well, it's also your livelihood now.
It is. It really is. I mean, it's just, I think about that of like, I don't think it's like when we were talking about like the stand-ups who are really successful or the podcasters that are really successful. It's just like, why would I want to deal with the pain in the ass of like pitching a show to people who are just, because like my buddies who that are showrunners, that are incredibly brilliant, funny writers, like the frustration that they express to me, I'm just like, I don't know. I feel very grateful that I have just kind of walked myself into this situation of like, you know, I want to keep acting because I think it's so fun. I want to keep doing stand-up because I think it's so fun. I can make money at both.
Right.
If I can do union gigs acting, I can pay into my pension. You know, that makes the future seem a little less scary. But like, as far as the day to day, and like, I'm like, this has kind of turned into a thing. Like if you join my Patreon, I had the idea last year. I was like, wouldn't this be fun? I'll make little membership cards.
Oh yeah.
Like to the video store.
Yep.
And then send them out to people.
That's great.
You know?
I mean, people love that shit. Yeah, that's
people
genius.
love that shit.
Yeah.
And I completely underestimated how many people would want a membership card. I was like halfway, not even halfway. I was like a few months in, and I was like, holy shit, I got to start like keeping track of this.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You need like an assistant that is like good with spreadsheets. By the way, something else we have in common, which I wanted to bring up, which Don't Get Me Started reminded me of. I went on their podcast and talked about mascotting. I was a university mascot, and I read you were a mascot at university as well.
I was the Fordham University mascot for like 2.5 years.
How'd that come about? Was that just like totally in your wheelhouse?
No, but it was... When the Flyers were around, like Bill Graham was the mascot. Close friends with Mac on Always Sunny.
Oh, funny.
I didn't realize it until after the fact. Mac used to climb through our window sophomore year to go see his friend Bill Graham, who lived upstairs. Because if you went through the front door, you had to sign in with security, which means like if you didn't have a guest pass at a certain hour, this person had to leave. You had to sign them back out. So we lived on the first floor, so people would sneak through our window all the time.
Oh, you just had the Underground Railroad.
Yeah, well, it's like, you know, if a girl wants to come back to your room, it's like she can't stay all night because it's like a Catholic school, so she has to sign. So people would climb through our window.
Yeah, you did a service.
Mac used to climb through our window. Sometimes he would come to the Bronx over the weekend and hang out with Bill.
Wait, if it wasn't in your wheelhouse, why'd you do it for 2.5 years? Did you get a scholarship or something?
No. Oh, God, no. They didn't give a shit about me when I was I got Bill Graham's old mascot uniform, and then when I graduated... they bought a new mascot outfit for the next guy. I was such a transitional champion. I was the Iron Sheik, just getting the belt from Bob Backlund to Hulk Hogan.
Does Fordham have a football team? Do they?
They do.
Is that what you did, like football games? And stuff?
Football games, basketball games.
Okay.
You know, some once in a while, like freshman move-in day, I would be in the parking lot waving. You know, stuff like that.
I love mascots. Mascots are either highly regarded or, to your experience, really just discarded and ignored and not utilized to the full.
Reason I laughed about the football team is because I don't know how they're doing now, but they weren't good when I was there. When I visited the school, the girl showing us around campus, she's like, okay, over here, this is Eddie's parade. This is a big lawn. A lot of kids hang out here during the day. You can picnic, study, what have you. Over here's the football field. This is the victory bell. They ring this every time the football team wins a game. You'll notice that it's rusted solid. Over here, and I was just like, damn, this is part of the tour. When we were there, I think they won one game.
Oof.
And when they won the game, I'll never forget, all the football players were at one of the bars that night. They all had T-shirts that said respect. And we're like...
That's all they had going for them.
Okay, fellas.
To this day, that's all the team has going for them.
Rough. But yeah, the reason I auditioned was all my friends were like, McCarthy, you'd be perfect for this. And then I was the only one who auditioned. Well, it was me and another guy. And that guy literally that morning was like, oh, yeah, I saw one of the signs. I decided to come. I was like, oh, this starts in like 10 minutes. I'll come by.
Do you find you sweat more ever since then? Ever since I was a mascot, sweat more.
Interesting. I don't know.
I think my body learned how to cool itself off via sweating mechanisms, and now it just immediately does that.
I'm telling you, Bill was a lot shorter than me, and they custom built that Ram outfit for him.
So you can see your ankles or whatever?
Buddy, when I got the suit, first of all, it hadn't been cleaned.
Oh.
So when I pulled it out, it had been sitting in this athletic closet all summer. It was still damp.
Oh. That was worse.
It was fucking off. And the equipment manager was a complete prick.
Oh.
And people would complain, like, the mascot outfit stinks. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Because when I would bring it to the equipment manager, he'd be like, let me tell you something. I got every uniform of every athlete from every team to clean, and then you. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like, I had to talk to the athletic directors and be like, this guy's being a prick. Like, I bring him the fucking thing to clean, and he's like, oh, if I can get to it, I'll get to it. I'm sorry. I thought I represented the school. I thought I was the mascot. I fucking hated it. I really hate like doing it was fun. Like sometimes like little kids would be cool, but most of the time, people were just fucking assholes to me. They would tell me to get out of their way. They would say, "Move, we can't see the game."
I'm sorry.
Oh, it was fucking awful. It was really fucking awful. I felt really unappreciated. The only day I enjoyed being the mascot, I swear to God, was first of all, because Bill Graham was so good at being the mascot too, that all I heard was like, "You got some big shoes to fill," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, sorry, I suck. Sorry, this outfit doesn't fit me, and I'm really uncomfortable, and I'm having a hard time breathing."
Oh,
like there was like a mesh, like not mesh, but there was like a plastic like cage underneath to like give it some girth.
Yeah.
It just, my body was just up against it. And I would say to them, I'm like, this doesn't fit. Like, there are holes in it. My fingers are poking out.
Oh.
Like, this thing is falling apart. We need a new outfit. And they wouldn't spend the money until I was gone. And they bought the next guy a new one.
That's infuriating.
The only day I fucking felt appreciated or I enjoyed being the mascot was we had the Special Olympics. We had an event at Fordham. And when I went into the main building, McGinley Center, where they had the cafeteria and stuff, all the athletes were in there. I shook hands, hugged, and took pictures with every single person in there. They were so sweet to me. They were so appreciative. They just thought I was wonderful. And I was like, motherfuckers.
That's nice.
And then the rest of the time, it's just like, you know... Because the football team sucked, so like everybody was in a bad mood. You know, the basketball team was all right, but like people were just like, I was always in the way.
I feel like I just triggered you. I'm sorry. We had very different experiences.
Where did you go to school?
Minnesota, University of Minnesota.
Okay.
We had like a team. We had like 6 to 8 guys that did it.
Oh, wow.
Because we would do 500 appearances in a year. We did every athletic event and charity events and private events and birthday parties. But I want to let me share this with you real quick, and then I got one last question because we're over an hour. I have an idea for a show. Mm-hmm. Somebody's going to steal it now.
Oh,
it's a mascot who's addicted to gambling. And so the cold open is him watching the free throws, and he's like cheering, yeah, and his team wins, but then you see on the inside, he bet against his team, and he's like, fuck, I just lost $5,000.
That's great.
But like outside, it's a big ass smile, so it's just a guy that's a mascot who's addicted to gambling.
I like that.
It's betting on sports. Yeah.
That's great.
All right, the last question I ask is, who took a chance on you?
I almost said my wife.
That works. People can say that.
Who took a chance on me? Guess a lot of people. I mean, when I was looking for a job just out of college in New York, Gavin, God, what was his last name? But he hired me to just do like a desk job at MTV Networks.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because otherwise I would have just moved back to Rhode Island, and I don't know what. Like, I wouldn't have met my wife, you know, I don't know, maybe I would have started doing stand-up in Boston or something, but I don't know what I would have wound up doing.
It's a wild butterfly effect to think about.
I know. You know who took a chance on me is Maura Maloney, my first agent at CESD, because the first gig I ever booked was a commercial, and with Pete, where we were... positive and negative terminals on a car battery for Sears Die Hard, and the casting director Neil at House Casting, he called me at my desk job at MTV, and it was literally like the first audition I'd ever gone on.
Wow.
They wanted to see people without who they hadn't seen before.
Right.
So Baron Vaughn said, well, Matt McCarthy's really funny. And so they called me in. I did the audition. And I haven't thought about him in so long. I think his name was Neil. But he called me at my desk and was like, hey, you're probably going to book this job, but they know that you don't have an agent. And I'm looking at the deal, and they're going to screw you. Is there any way you can get an agent today?
Oh, wow.
And I was like, dude, I have no idea what you're talking about. And so he's like, okay, let me call my friend Maura and see if... And so then I met with Maura Maloney. And so, look, when people ask me for advice, like, how do you get an agent? I'm like, well, I'm the wrong person to ask because I already booked a job. Yeah. And so, like, you go in and you're like, hey, I've booked this big campaign that's going to wind up going nowhere, but, like, just the session fees alone, I think we made like 40 or 50 grand.
Holy shit.
I guess it ran a couple of times on like Home and Garden TV, but like that weekend we came out here, we shot, because they were saying, they were like, this is where it's going to be the new Mac and PC. This is going to be the new Mac and PC commercials. We shot at least a dozen on-air commercials. We recorded radio spots. We did print, like everything that you could do in a commercial. This is our first
before even testing it and seeing if they like it.
And then they never ran. It just went away.
That's wild.
We walked into the studio. Literally, the second AD is walking us in, and he goes, "This is the first time it ever gets brought up." He goes, "Neither of you have a problem with heights, right?" We walk in. They have built a car battery, like a almost like the entire car engine, like huge. Like as big as this apartment, and there are ladders for us to climb up, and we're just standing on the ladders doing the bit the whole time. It was insane.
So you guys bankrupted Sears with that campaign.
They did it to themselves, kid.
Matt, this was lovely. Thank you so much for doing this.
Super fun. Thanks for having me.
It was a pleasure talking to you. You got a tail slate at the end.
6 feet. Based in Los Angeles, unwilling to shave.